When I first took on the role of Managing Director of Built Environments, I think a lot of people looked at it and thought, you've previously worked in human resources, what's the connection with running a business? But I think you've got to take a step back from that and understand what human resource management is today. And for me, it's not about form filling or ticking boxes. It's about creating a sort of dynamic culture in an organisation. I like to use the word transformation. That whole concept of transformation, whether it's people or a building, and in essence, the people that are going to make the change in delivering the service to the building is not really a huge step. I took over just as the economy faltered. And I think what we've seen as a result of the sort of macroeconomic changes are that, you know, without doubt, price is a driving issue now in the FM sector. What we've had to do is a lot of work around our pricing structure and strategies, and what the market will take, and develop a basic proposition around that's fairly creative. So customers need to have their costs now, they need surety around that. The other thing is about really what you deliver then must be, today's good is tomorrow's mediocre. So you can't keep delivering the same service to customers that you were delivering in 2007 or 2006 and expect them to be happy with that, because people are suddenly looking and thinking, what am I spending money on, and what are you giving me that I couldn't get from someone else? Innovation in our sector is absolutely crucial, but it has been for perhaps the last 2 years, and going forward I see more and more pressure on what I would call our core product offering. And I think it's interesting that FM in the round was not subject to globalisation like, say, manufacturing was, and therefore the requirement to step up the service in the UK over the last 10 years has perhaps been less forced than it has in other sectors. I've set up 3 operating hubs, which are in public services, aviation and the criminal justice market. And the reason that we've designed the business in that way is to allow us to tailor our operational delivery to those particular environments. And one example of that would be the criminal justice market, where I believe there's huge opportunities for growth. The Ministry of Justice are looking for innovative new players in the market. One of the things we've done recently to try and move our offering, our core FM offering, into a broader space is to partner with an American security business by the name of GEO. And what we're doing together is that we are bidding for an opportunity now in the Ministry of Justice to start to offer custodial and transportation services. You get to an interesting point on energy management, which is, I guess I split it into 3 buckets. There's no cost, low cost and high cost. So there's a lot of stuff you can do on energy which costs nothing at all, and that's about a mindset and an attitude, turning lights off, getting PCs turned off, recycling. None of those things particularly, they don't cost money. For low cost, you can put basic metering in, you can maybe change the way that you use, protective film on glass, etc. You get to an interesting point on energy management, which is, I guess I split it into 3 buckets. There's no cost, low cost and high cost. So there's a lot of stuff you can do on energy which costs nothing at all, and that's about a mindset and an attitude, turning lights off, getting PCs turned off, recycling. None of those things particularly, they don't cost money. For low cost, you can put basic metering in, you can maybe change the way that you use, protective film on glass, etc. You then get to a point in energy management where to make the next step requires a significant capital investment. And the payback, and I think this is the sort of dilemma that organisations are going to face in the future, that the payback on making those investments might be 5 or 6 years and wouldn't typically be seen as what would be a normal payback in business, which would probably be 12 to 24 months on a piece of, in our sector, on a piece of capital expenditure. So I think it's interesting that once people get to that level, what the appetite for investment will be, and particularly where people are facing severe financial pressures, they're not going to have that level of capital expenditure. But you're in a great place if that's your problem, because that's sort of your last 20% and not your first 80% of the difference you can make.